What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of You Said It Best, Brother. Your boy, Money Mike, Michael A, Michael Axon, whatever you want to say, however you want to say my name. Welcome back. Today's episode going to be a little bit different. It's pretty transparent about some kind of just wild things that went on in my life over the last year. In the last podcast, which if you haven't checked it out, I would highly recommend. Led to a lot of really fun engagement with a lot of different people and some really fun conversations and everything. So great episode. If you're looking for something similar, today's not really going to be it. Today's going to be a little bit more just fun. Something that's kind of honestly, I just thought of the other day. I was like, this would be kind of a fun idea, something different. I am going to be rating something that I enjoy, something that I think is really good, and that's beer. I like beer. I'm a beer guy. As far as alcoholic beverages go, it's my go-to. I was in a wedding. Was it last year? Earlier this year, but the bachelor party was last year. Yeah, that's right. Man, time just flies. It's a construct. But I was in one of my buddy's weddings, and for the invite and everything to be part of the groomsmen, the party there, bridal party. I guess they're still part of the bridal party. That doesn't sound right. Oh well, we're gonna move past it. It kind of presented us with some stuff, whatever. So one of the things that we got was a hat. Everybody who got invited and was part of the party there got a little hat with our name on it, like a nickname, and mine was Draft. So because very often when I'm hanging out with really a lot of people, you can probably catch me with a beer, right? Not in like a weird way, it's like all the time, but it's just something that I enjoy doing, and I do like things that are a little bit more unique, right? You're probably not going to catch me with a Bud Light. Not that there's anything wrong with Bud Light, and not that there's anything wrong with Miller or anything like that, because I think there is a time and a place for that. There's a really, really good podcast, or not, yeah, I think they are a podcast, but a good article done by, oh my gosh, I forgot what it was called. I can't remember. My memory escapes me, but it was a really good article about the time and place for those kind of cheaper American beers. But anyways, so that's not really what I'm going to be focusing on today, though. It's types of beers, although I think I could talk about it forever. What I want to talk about today is types of beers, but more in where they are enjoyed, because I think there's something to be said for the location and the environment that you're in, and things like that. So I talked to a couple different people, trying to get some different ideas. So there's going to be, I'm sure, some that I missed, but I kind of created a top 5 and then have an honorable mention of the top 5 types of beers. So first off, just kind of give you guys an idea and a concept. So some that didn't make the cut. Brewery beers, they didn't make the list. Rip. Friday beers, which Friday beers are really good, and also it's a funny website and social media, little group there. And there weren't a lot other ones that didn't make the list. There's a couple, but anyway, so kind of that's kind of what we're thinking of, right? Because I do want to know, if there are things that you guys are thinking of that I may have missed, please leave a comment as I'm going. Wait till the end, though, because, I've got 6 that I talk about here, so TBD. So first, honorable mention for best types of beer are free beers. It's hard to beat something free. I'm not going to turn down, free food, free beer, free hugs, any of those kind of things. I'm here. I'm there for it. My econ teacher said there's Tanstaffel. There ain't no such thing as a free lunch, right? I disagree. There are sometimes free beers and free food, and those are the best ones. So, but I literally just said they were the best, but they're not, because I have 5 more that I thought were better. But free beers are pretty great. But sometimes sometimes you get stuck with ones that you're not a big fan of. They're great because they're free, not necessarily because you enjoy them. And that is why free beers are only honorable mention, because they're not ones that you always get to choose. And they're not always just top notch, And I had one, I forgot about this. Oh goodness. I met up with one of my buddies after college, after he graduated, He was living in Athens at the time, and I stopped there, and we went out. We went like downtown Athens, which if you haven't been there, there's a lot of good breweries and everything. But so I think, yeah, we grabbed dinner at a brewery. Which one was it? They do Terrapin. Oh my gosh, my brain escapes me. My memory is just going once again. But really, really good, good local stuff. And then we went out, right? But we went out to this one bar, and there was some reps for Shock Top. So Shock Top's coming back, but for a while they kind of like disappeared because I don't think, it's basically Blue Moon except not as good in my opinion. In this particular case, there were again reps there, and they were giving out free beers, and the beers were warm, and I'd had like a couple at the time, so I was like, all right, like I'll take it. I'm not gonna turn down a free beer. But after like one or two more beverages in the evening, I was like, all right, like my stomach is just like not feeling well, and so I had to call it early. We had to call the night, and actually I felt bad. Like we still had a good time, but we just the night ended way sooner than I think we thought it would. So, but anyways, so not all free beers are always good, but that's why it's an honorable mention. All right, my definitive top 5. Here we go, doing some stretches. All right, let's go. Number 5, home beers. Beers that you have at home. So whether it be with friends, by yourself, just chilling, vibing, I think it's got to be up there, right? You have unlimited choice, right? Because you're at home. So anything you pick up at the store, something that you're gonna like, something that you've worked hard and like paid for, right? So it's like, all right, this is some reward for my hard work, and then it's cheaper. So some of the other options that I'm gonna mention are not as cheap, and they're definitely like. But I think there's something to be said for enjoying. Like I'm sitting at home right now, I'm not drinking or anything, but something to be said for just enjoying an adult beverage, enjoying a nice cold beer in the comfort of your own home. So, I think it's nice. Again, by yourself, with other people, I think it'd be a good time. So, number 5 for me. Number 4, your first beer. So, and this one kind of comes with a caveat as well. In fact, it probably should have been number 5. It probably shouldn't, it should have been lower on the list. But we're sticking with it. I already said it, so we're going. Because your first beer is oftentimes, unfortunately, not very good. Like a lot of people don't like beer. I know lots of people in my life who are just not a fan. They don't like it. They don't like how it tastes. And like no matter what you give them, right? It could be a cider, it could be just regular ale, lager, IPA, which nobody like that I know that doesn't like beer would even go anywhere close near an IPA. I like IPAs personally, but it's not for everybody. So that first time you have one, it often just doesn't taste good. It's like you're probably trying to like fit in, like either in like high school or college, trying to be like, oh yeah, this is good. Meanwhile, inside you're like dying because you're like, this is disgusting and can't wait to throw it out. But there's something about that experience though. Like I think everybody can kind of like remember that, like the first time you had one, first time you talked about it, whatever, I still remember mine. I did not drink much in college, like a little bit. Sorry, Union, because we signed a contract that we weren't going to. But I was a private Christian school, so there are a lot of different rules and things you couldn't do. So, but and I was a pretty good kid back then. So, and now, but there was so I waited to drink beer anyways until after I graduated, and I was still living in Jackson, Tennessee, and I started to kind of like deviate a little bit. Well, I guess I probably had one. No, I didn't. I was trying to think. I was like, maybe I did, because I remember drinking like the night after I graduated, and I was like, but I don't think I had any beer. I had like SoCo and Coke. Goodness. Anyways, distracted. I picked up like a 6-pack of Stella Artois, because I remember seeing those commercials and everything, and I was like, man, these are gonna be fire. And I just remember getting home and I was like, all right, let me give this a shot. And it was disgusting. I hated it. I was like, why did I ever do this? And then, don't judge me. And then I because I also got a 6 pack of Smirnoff Ice because I knew that they tasted good, and at least back then in my So I think I chased my Stella with a Smirnoff Ice. So there we go. But I remember that moment, right? And I think a lot of people do, and I think it's something that a lot of people like look back to, and they're like, "Oh yeah, like nice," that experience, that adventure, whatever. So I will always have my like first beers ranked in the top 5 because yeah, it's like if you still do drink beer, if you don't, like all good. But if you do, like I think we can look back to that moment and be like, yeah, that was a moment where I tried something new, tried something different. Maybe I didn't like it then, but I went back. So I don't know. That's just my thought and that's my take, and I'm gonna stick with it. So, all right, number 3. This is one of my favorites personally. So number 3, ballpark beers. So I think from a sporting experience, being at a baseball park, incredible. I've seen baseball games. I've seen NBA games. I've seen NBA playoff games in person. I've been to NFL games. I've been to college football. I've been to college basketball. Not when I could drink though, but I don't think it really matters. But I've been to all sorts of live sporting events, right? And soccer games too. But I think baseball games with a cold beer is just like it's iconic. That's probably almost like part of like America, right? Like eating an unhealthy hot dog, maybe some popcorn with like just cold beer. And it's fantastic. I this will go down just for the vibes. Like sitting in, I remember, was it 2 years ago, 2 summers ago, I went with my dad to Boston. And we tried to go to 2 different Red Sox games, but one of them got rained out. So we sat there for one, and I still remember to this day it was cold in June, which is wild. But sitting there with like a local IPA and just enjoying baseball, just sitting there hanging out with my dad, just having fun, right? Enjoying America's pastime. So I think just that atmosphere and everybody just like cheering and yelling. And again, baseball for me in person is just like a whole other level of enjoyment. I think you can actually follow baseball a lot easier than you can like a football or basketball. Again, that's my take. I'd rather watch football and basketball on TV, if I'm being completely honest, because I can see like what's going on a little bit more. But baseball, you go, I think, more for the atmosphere and just all that's going on. So, ballpark beers will go on my list, and they're number 3, I think, very solidly. So, all right, number 2. This is another one of my favorites, and this one is on one of the cons going back. Ballpark beers, a little more expensive. So we talked about some of these like not being as cheap, especially as like home beers, whatever. Ballpark beers are a little bit pricier, but not quite as pricey as number 2, which is theme park beers. So I live in Orlando. It's my Halloween Horror Night shirt from 2 years ago. I live in Orlando, go to theme parks a lot, and one thing that I really enjoy doing, and going again by myself or going with other people, I enjoy just kind of like enjoying the atmosphere of the park, like just with an adult beverage, with a cold beer. If I'm going to Universal, love going to like the Alcatraz bar, going to Duff bar. Like I used to do, that was one of my traditions with one of my buddies when we'd go all the time. When he doesn't have any, he'll pass anymore, but we'd make sure to go to the Simpsons Duff bar and grab a beer. And that was just something that we did, right? It was kind of a tradition for us, but just overall, right? Like that atmosphere, that environment, it doesn't like detract from it at all, right? It kind of enhances the experience, to in my experience, anyways. And I think there's something to be said for that, right? And a lot of times when you're at the parks, you are doing it with other people, right? You're going as a group. You're going hang out with people from work. Going to Halloween Horror Nights. You're going to Epcot to celebrate a birthday. So there's all sorts of different situations and scenarios where it's like, okay, like we're going together. We're all gonna have a good time. We're all gonna spend too much money, but that's why we don't do it all the time. But I think this list would be incomplete, at least for me in Orlando, where the theme parks are very present. That the list would not be accurate if I didn't have theme park beers on there. So that's number 2 for me. Number 1, This is another because I live in Florida thing, but pool/beach beers. So I think I lumped them together because even though they're not exactly the same, like I think like beach beers are probably like slightly higher than pool beers, but I think again with people, maybe you're just like in the afternoon catching some Z's, you can catch, reading a book, reading a podcast, not reading a podcast, listening or watching like you guys are right now. Whatever it is, right? It could be just chilling, just hanging out, just relaxing, out at the beach, with your friends, playing some cards, listening to some music. Again, catching way too much sun, but that's part of it, right? And I think it's all topped off with just a cold bevy. It could be a seltzer. I will allow seltzers for this one. I don't think seltzers would go into any of these other ones, and they aren't really beer, but I will allow them to be enjoyed at the beach/the pool. But I think just looking at the overall experience and just what you get out of it, I think is like I think again enhanced by again enjoying responsibly. I should have led with that with this whole podcast, but enjoying in moderation, enjoying where you're being responsible, being safe. Again, should have led with all of that, and I do have some friends who can't enjoy like an adult beverage, right? Because that's just something that that they're not able to do, right? And I think everybody's different, right? So I say this as somebody who's like, I feel like it's okay for me to, and I know everybody's got to make those individual decisions, right? So again, should have led with that, but here we are. So just to round out my top five, number five. Sorry, I gotta look at my notes because it was like 7 minutes ago that I said number five. Home beers. Number four, first beers. Number three, ballpark. Number four, no, number two. I went the wrong way. Number two, sorry, it was long first day at work here. Number two, theme park beers, and number one, beach/pool. Because I don't know, there's something about my window overlooks the pool, and it's just like tempting. It's just like but it's kind of dark, so I wouldn't really enjoy that very much. But anyways, so that is my definitive list. Again, I'm sure that I forgot something. So, if any of you guys out there have any thoughts about a place, environment, atmosphere that you enjoy it more, could be a family reunion, could be a bachelor party, could be some sort of celebration. Like, hey, I just had my first child, let's get together, right? Whatever it is. But I think everybody's experiences are going to be different, right? So those are mine. Those are the places that I most enjoy them. So what about you? Love to hear. Enjoy responsibly. Be safe. But yeah, it's okay. It's okay to let loose every once in a while. So until next time, see y'all.